I'm Mike Bredner, and this is Capital Views, and we have with us today Representative Chris Tuck, who's a veteran. You come from Midtown Anchorage, and you're chairman of the powerful Budget and Audit Committee.
Yes, actually South Central Anchorage. I go south of Tudor through Diamond and then over from Minnesota over to New Seward. And I have the privilege of serving as chair of the Legislative Budget and Audit Committee. It's a committee that's a joint committee for the House and Senate, 6 members of the House, 6 members of the Senate. And we do act as the interim committee for the full legislature when we're not in session, and can make decisions on behalf of the full legislature. And as the Legislative Budget and Audit Chair, the committee oversees the Finance Division of Leg Affairs as well as the Audit Division. And that's kind of our checks and balances to make sure that what we pass in the budget is actually getting carried out through the administration, and also gives us a chance to make sure not only are we making sure our finances are being done right, but procedures are done right.
You often assign studies to do by the full legislature.
Yes, and thanks for bringing that up. I forgot, one of the things we also do is we hire all the consultants on behalf of the legislature, whether it's the Resources Committee or the Judiciary Committee or the Finance Committee. And so oftentimes you'll see that we have quite a few oil consultants retained for whatever may happen in the coming session.
And you just hired a new, finance director?
Yes, so we just...
Well-known name.
Yeah, so I'm pleased to announce that Pat Pitney is our new finance analyst, director of finance. And she comes with a lot of experience. She had 20 plus years with the university system up in Fairbanks, handling their budgets. And then underneath the Walker administration, she had 4 years as his Office of Management and Budget Director.
And you supervise the Audit Division, which is a constitutional assignment. And it's interesting that the audit function in most states is often an elected position by some cabinet officer, prone to witch hunts, and we've never had a problem with the audit.
Yeah, and so it's kind of nice that it falls underneath the legislative branch, and because it's committee driven, you got on both sides of the House and the Senate. We're just making sure that the administration's doing what they're supposed to be doing, so that's kind of our oversight, and making sure, especially since we're the appropriating body. And so we want to make sure the money that we're spending is really going where it should go, and then the programs that we have in effect are doing what they should be doing.
And most people wouldn't know who the auditor is. I mean, it's very sequestered, and that keeps it from really being politicized.
Yeah, and that's another benefit too, is we do have an auditor director, and she has the ability and authority, once we point her in a direction, to really dive into the books, go into the administration, interviews, ask questions, and it really is unpoliticized. And what I like about some of the audits that we get back is that it really shows us how we can do things better. It's not always just saying, it's not always a gotcha. It's not always, like you said, a witch hunt going after it, but just really how we can make significant improvements to make sure that we're delivering the goods and services that we should be for Alaskans.
Even those that are of some controversy or issue, they have to go through a process back and forth with the committee. They're just not released. So in order to give those who are audited time to respond.
Yes, and we kind of, we don't want to embarrass people. So once an audit has been approved by the committee to go forth with, and any legislator can present an audit, an idea. Hey, Health and Social Services, we want to look at this program, that program. Let's, we don't think it's behaving properly, or we're kind of questioning it. Can we do an audit? And the committee decides on that. And then it takes a while to do the audits. I mean, it takes a year to 18 months on some of them. And as soon as we have some findings, some preliminary findings, we meet again and discuss that. But no audit is released until the committee decides to release it, and then the public can weigh in. And so we want to protect, we don't want to, again, get it politicized. We don't want to have the court of public opinion, if you will, until everything's finalized.
And Budget and Audit is sort of a twin with Legislative Council. It's one of our 2 legislative councils charged with legislative management. And both of these committees are rather unusual. Lots of legislatures, the House and Senate are very different, operate under different rules and all. And so this is a high point, I think, of our legislature in the hopes of making it strong, because we have a strong governor.
Yeah, and it also kind of brings people together. I mean, you got the House and the Senate, and it just so happens that our Legislative Budget and Audit Committee is made up of 6 Democrats and 6 Republicans. So it just brings people together. We're working on issues together, and you're right. Those are 2 very unique committees. One more about the operations of the legislature. One a little bit more broader, looking at the functions of the state. So again, we do act as the full legislature when we're not in session for any times that we need to receive additional monies from the federal government through grants or through any type of receipt authority. We have the ability to do that on behalf of the full legislature without calling us into a special session. So it makes us more efficient as well. And
the chair sort of rotates back and forth between the House and the Senate.
Yeah, so this year the House controls it, in which I'm the chair for the Legislative Budget and Audit, and then Leg Council is controlled by the Senate, and then that flips around. And I think Gary Stevens, Senator Stevens is the chair of Leg Council.
Council, yeah. And these are 2 features that were intended to make our legislature a stronger legislature, because we had a very strong executive. I don't know quite how that always works out. Maybe not very well right now.
Yeah. And that actually has a nice feature due to the fact that we do have such a strong executive branch. And, we don't like to, we like to work with partnerships with people as much as possible. We want to work with partnership with the administration, so taking the politics out of it really helps.
Chris, we're out of time, and it's been a pleasure having you. And we've been talking to Chris Tuck, and this is Capital Views. Thank you.